Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much, everybody.
You look good, Norm.
Manny, was there
anyone?
anyone
I miss you all.
was there anyone at UM, Mark, or anyone else who tried to talk you into staying in terms of saying, wait for another offer, maybe you'll be a Bud Foster here and stay here forever? Was there any argument made to you by anyone at UM on behalf of staying?
Of course, yeah. I mean, you know, Mark and I and Blake James and I, we had very honest conversations. We're not just our relationship extends far beyond professionally. You know, we have a personal relationship. So you know, part of that is you know, factored in, and but at the same time, you know, everybody wants, you know, in this profession, everybody understands people have individual goals, and sometimes there's a fit, and there's just, you know, there's a timing element. But that works both ways, you know, and that's why these things can be bittersweet at times. But I think everybody's excited at the outcome and how it turned out, and you know, and the only thing that matters is what always matters is what happens next.
When Jonathan and Ephraim told you they're going to be staying, was your first reaction? I know you're happy for them regardless. Was your first reaction gee, I wish I could have had them join me, it would have made my life easier? Or do you think I'm happy for them that they will be defensive coordinators?
So am I completely selfish, or just like somewhat selfish, or, you know? Right. No, listen, as a, you know, in coaching, it's funny, like you're like the young guy, and then you turn around like a second later and you're kind of becoming one of the older guys. And one of the neat things about being in this profession is the ability to create your own coaching tree, you know, and to train people. You know, to me, any good head coach, and Coach Rick has, should train all of his coaches to be a head coach one day. Any good coordinator should train all of his coaches to want to be a coordinator one day. Every good assistant coach should train all their GAs and QCs to be an assistant coach one day. That's how you give back to the profession. So the fact that, you know, Coach Rick was, you know, willing to give those guys their chance says a lot about him. But I think he understands that there's a culture that's here, and everything's about the players. Everything in this game is about the players. The players are the ones that play. The players have made all the tackles last year. They've done all the great things. So what's best for them? Well, what's best for them is to not have them come in and realize that the world's changed. Not have them come in and realize that there's a different way of doing things, or a different defensive scheme, or anything in place. You know, they can all rest easy because they know what works. They know what it takes to play great defense, and they know that, you know, Coach Bonda, Coach Packey, Coach Simpson, Coach Rump, they know those guys know the formula that works for Miami. And so, you know, to me, I'm very proud for those two guys personally, but also for UM, because I want, you know, to see this defense succeed, you know, for the long term.
You mentioned the players, but why was it so important outside of them to come back and coach in this last bowl game?
For me personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, I just feel like that's my duty. That's my obligation. You know, we embarked on something this year, and as the year went on, and we realized that we had something really, really special on defense, and we did not want that to end. Because even we were going through some bad times, we really were, you know, the guys in our room and the relationships we had on defense, it was special. Someone's about to get stung by a bee right here.
Oh, shit.
That's right.
Get it out of here, Brent.
So, the bravery is really
It's quite impressive.
Right, yeah.
That bee was sent by UCF.
Yeah, no, I thought it was Georgia Tech. So, no, you know, I mean, to me, that's what I owe those guys. You know, and we have a chance to put a defense, you know, through 13 games that can stamp as being one of the tops in a long time. There's a lot of things we're proud of. So, I was hoping they'd have me back.
Manny, what about the bowl game? I know it'll again be bittersweet for you, but how do you think you guys will do? It's not a marquee bowl. Are they still motivated? How do you get them to win this game?
I think our guys are motivated, and I think one thing that really helps is playing Wisconsin again, because our guys, as we got into prep and they watched that game a year ago, and there's a sense in our room that that's not who we are. You know, we a combination of, you know, Wisconsin did some really, really good things. I don't think that we played at our best, and I also think, regardless, we're just a lot better on defense than we were a year ago. So individually, I think the players are like, oh, good grief, look at my technique here, or look at this here. So there's a lot of guys. What a great thing to have an opportunity to go play an opponent again and show yourself, most importantly, but show everybody else, you know, how I've improved in a year's time. So I think that provides some motivation for us.
What do you think it'll be like for you emotionally?
Honestly, I'm trying not to think about it. You know what I mean? And it's like anything else. It's a game. Once you get in the game, it's about game. But if I thought about that, I'd get all out of whack.
How whirlwind has the last 4 or 5 days been for you? Going up there, coming back here, meetings, recruiting, trying to build a staff and finish a class and all those things up there. Have you slept? I've found time for 2 jobs at once.
Well, you become an expert in what's important now. you know, because you have a lot of things to do, but not everything is urgent and important, so you have to kind of rank things that come at you. Certainly the focus right after I got the job was recruiting at a high level for Temple. And once the contact period ended, the quiet period ended on Sunday, where there was really nothing that could happen in Philadelphia, then they allowed me the opportunity to come back down here yesterday and today. I'll go back up there tomorrow for signing day, and then I'll be right back tomorrow afternoon. And but once the last facts has come in, the only thing that can happen that Temple can do is go beat Duke in Shreveport, and the only thing that Miami can do is go beat Wisconsin and New York, ironically on the same day. So to me, I think everybody can do that. That becomes now the urgent, important thing. And then even when it comes to putting together a staff and things like that, a lot of guys are still coaching in bowl games. There's a staff at Temple that's doing a great job there right now. So none of that, to me, trumps, for both staffs and both places, making sure that their universities finish their football season with a bowl victory.
Would have been when you're ready.
I'm sorry?
How do you know when you're ready?
To be a head coach? Probably the same way you would have known that you're ready to be a coordinator, which is that I don't know that you, I don't know if you ever fully know. You prepare yourself, But so I read a quote, I guess, recently that says, God prepares the called, He doesn't call the prepared. Because I think if you waited around until you knew, you don't even know what you don't know. So I think that's all part of it. And I think you just have to rely on your training. I've been so fortunate with the head coaches I've worked for and some of the programs I've been able to work at. So you take a lot of what's worked and you rely on others, which is again the same thing, whether you're going to being a successful coordinator or in any other profession.
Would have been tough to coach if you were in the Independence Bowl, wouldn't it?
Would have been tough to coach.
If you were in the Independence
Against Temple? That would have been awkward, yeah, for sure.
How tough is it to leave home?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of this profession. You don't ever know how long you get to be somewhere. To be honest, I never knew I'd have the opportunity to spend one day living in Miami. So I look at it the other way around. I look at it more as a blessing to have every day spent here was a blessing that was not expected.
What was it like walking in there on Sunday, seeing the guys was that the first time you saw the guys after the announcement?
No, it was actually, all of the mass was actually today.
Okay.
It was actually today, because yesterday we do like a game week. Yesterday we were just game planning. Saw all the guys today, so, it was, I don't know, it's like getting on a bike again, it's seeing everybody together again, and of course they're happy. It's a little awkward, it's a little weird, and you just kind of got to get through that. But today's practice was excellent. There were a lot of high energy on the field today, and guys are, really focused at the task at hand, which is like, let's what matters now, beat Wisconsin. What matters now, beat Wisconsin.
Zach
I got a feeling
shared
you'll be
with us
spending
that-
a lot of time down here anyway in your new role.
I'm sorry?
I got a feeling you'll be spending a lot of time down here anyway in your new role. How
That's-
important is it going to be?
Yeah, that's all part of it. That's all part of it, and certainly we'll be recruiting someone with that type of quickness, hopefully. So.
Zach shared with us that he intends to come back next year, and he kind of joked that he's working on Shaq and Mike. How do you guys, help? I know you've been so close to those guys. Do you help them through this process? And
Of course.
How are you doing that right now?
Of course, with information, not opinion. Because that's the thing. Because if it came down to opinion, they only thought that we were interested in opinion, then they may think selfishly. Of course, selfishly, any coach would want them to stay. But you ask as many questions of our contacts in the National Football League as possible, and they all entered their name into the NFL search that comes back and tells them where they should go. And you can only give anybody the best information to make any decision available at any time, and that's what we want to do with those guys. We just want to make sure that they don't go somewhere because somebody's cousin told someone's neighbor who told somebody running down the street that you're going to get drafted here. We want it to be as real and concrete as possible. I think the kids appreciate that.
Do you point at what happened last season? Obviously, I know it didn't go probably the way some of those guys thought it
They
might.
know that, though. They know. They're aware of that, and we talk about every year. We show make a PowerPoint. We show them the dollars and cents that every one of our players at UM earns. What an NFL contract's made out of, how they're backloaded, what a signing bonus really is, what taxes are. That's always that sets them back a little bit. Yeah, all of a sudden they get really politically active once they realize that wait, how much? So yeah, really a lot. So and then different states, because a lot of them don't know about state income tax. So it's a little educational thing, but at the end it's their decision, it's their life. They got, and what we always tell them is, you have to make your decision right. No matter what it is, you have to make the decision right.
I don't want to put you in an awkward spot to promote another program right now, but 7-5 isn't what you guys envisioned or wanted this year. How much do you leave here believing that a turnaround could happen here and could happen pretty quickly.
Oh, absolutely. I have to believe that because, again, I'm only not here because Temple offered me an opportunity, but I was, as a coach, until that became a reality, you're, full speed ahead of, how do we make sure this never happens again at Miami? So, I don't think anybody in the program is remotely satisfied with what occurred this year. I think there's a certain edge about everybody, and I think there's some lessons that are learned in terms of seeing what happened and how going forward we can make sure that this, it never looks like this again.
What did happen? What happened?
There's a lot of different things that happened, and I think that's going to be a question at this point that's better asked to somebody else.
Thank you, Coach Diaz.
Okay.
I just had one